Okay, finally, when we take a look at communication, communication is critical, and we take a look at how do we communicate. So once again, we referred back to offering people positive comments and positive feedback. We build on other people's comments. We create articles and papers. I wound up with Wilf collaborating on some presentations through the internet because we couldn't always get together. So that was an excellent example of online collaboration. We actually linked up on LinkedIn. No pun intended. There's presentations and videos you can work on through Google Video, Google Documents. Some people use SharePoint. Anyone use SharePoint here? No? One program? Okay, one person. Different ways of communicating and collaborating. Sharing articles and resources. Many different social bookmarking tools, and you can use this to your advantage. You can ask people for advice, ask experts for advice on LinkedIn. You can share your resources. Maybe on Twitter, you can tweet about a website that they can look at. And with the political situation in Egypt and the other Middle Eastern countries, social media has been huge involved with this, and particularly mobile media. People with their smartphones videotaping and then sending it back to their friends and getting circulated through the internet before the major news agencies actually have that. Plug-in networks, so once again, Boxnet, SlideShare, Twitter, other types of programs you can add on to LinkedIn. Great for communicating. When you're looking at your profile, get a great headshot. There's one thing you do, remember that. Put a headshot on there if you want to be found. There's a lot of people with headshots on there, so if you don't have one on, you're automatically at a disadvantage. Employers do not want to hire a piece of paper. They want someone they can connect with. Very critical. And get your brand. Look at your specialized title. Branding is a whole different workshop. If you want to read a little bit about branding, Paul Kopcut is into branding both online and offline. Anyone heard his name? No? So you can look him up on the internet. So branding, once again, it's a totally different area. But the whole idea, specialized title and your value proposition that you offer to employers, why they should hire you instead of anyone else. Your summary and your specialties. Keywords are critical here because that's how people find you. So the more keywords you can add in, the better it is for you. And the better it is for your clients. This would be specifically put in your specialties. As many keywords that you can put in your or your client's specialties will help them get found faster. Finally, the last job you've worked at. And your brand, your specialized title, needs to be reflected in the last job you've worked at for there to be consistency. Stand out. Import your email contacts. There's a simple way of doing that in LinkedIn. Reconnect with your old colleagues with rapport. Not necessarily from high school, those high school friends that you kind of didn't want to mesh with in the halls of your school, but people you sincerely want to stay in touch with. Whether you have a couple of people from high school or college or university, maybe people from your past jobs. Re-invite them to connect. Give and ask for S3 recommendations. Recommendations on LinkedIn that are short, sweet, and specific. And you can go through LinkedIn and see a couple for yourself. Headshots and brands we talked about. Summaries, specialties and keywords, and last work experience. We'll be taking a look at that. When you're editing, spelling, grammar, punctuation. You know, just like you're editing a resume, be concise, to the point, dollarize, which we talked about from an employer's perspective, what they want to see from your client, not necessarily what your client is proud of, what the employer wants to see. Very important distinction. Peer editing, get someone else to take a look at it. Your value proposition, why would someone hire my client instead of their peers? What makes them unique and special? And what value added can they bring to my company? That's what an employer is thinking about. Some social media resources over here. 6 Pixels of Separation, great book. It's an easy read, non-techie. Find a Job Through Social Networking. Web Analytics, great book. I think of it as fun reading. My wife won't talk to me because she's like, why are you reading that stuff? It's actually really interesting and entertaining, though you may want to skip it, and I do little summaries of it, so if you want a summary on things, I'm more than happy to help you out. Social Media Bible, great book. It's really thick. You may just want to read sections off it. Secrets of Social Media Marketing, once again, a great book. Very general, non-techie books. I don't consider myself a techie. Maybe a Trekkie, but not a techie. And very, very useful. Yeah, my wife doesn't laugh at my jokes either, so don't worry about it. This is a bit of a blog, Naked Conversations. It involves no nudity, don't worry about that. Occam's Razor, which is the blog that was the basis for Web Analytics by Avinash. And I actually connected with Avinash through LinkedIn and Facebook, and he responded to me. And this is the leading guy for web analytics in the world. I felt so honored. He actually took time to connect with me. You know, Mike D'Souza, who's Mike D'Souza? So I like to think I'm important, but you know, once again, my wife kind of disagrees. We love each other, though. We do love each other. The Ute Pastor's Wife, great blog to look at, Miranda Vandecute. She's based out of Edmonton. She does amazing things. Please look up her blog. Secrets of Social Media Marketing. A couple of guides from Judith Thomas on workabilities and career capability. I can put you in contact with her. Great guides. I'd invite you to look them up.